Hey there, Fletcher from All Things Overlanding here, and today I'm going to be talking about this Peak Designs 45-liter outdoor backpack. Now, I have another Peak Designs bag, which I'll put a card to up here. I did a video on it. I love it. It's awesome for camera gear and stuff like that. That's basically my main carry backpack for long trips and then also for video trips. I will take that backpack, and again, I love it. It has so much functionality built into it that it's just amazing. And this thing is similar, and I'm going to kind of walk you through at a high level all the features of this thing, all the benefits of this bag, but this thing is geared more towards the outdoors, camping, that sort of thing, being super rugged, really high quality materials. So again, I'm going to walk you through all the features of this so that I can hopefully give you the information you need to decide if this is a bag that is worth investing in for your camping, overlanding, outdoor adventures. So if you want to hear more about that, stay tuned.
Understand where it came from, but you got it, my got it. It began in the land of the sandstorm. I fought it, though I wanted everything to do with what you gave to me. Loosening my grip.
All right, guys, so as I mentioned today, I'm talking about this Peak 45-liter outdoor bag. This thing is awesome, like all Peak Design stuff. Again, amazing quality materials, some really thoughtful features that they built into this thing. So I'm going to kind of walk you through this, show you the high level things. Mine did come with a Rainfly, which I have not opened or used, but this material is already pretty much waterproof, which is really nice. But if you are truly going into like sopping rain, which I have had experience with, I've completely soaked a backpack before, ruined all my stuff inside of it, and made my camping trip, it was a backpacking trip, my hiking trip, really miserable. But again, this thing is made to fit perfectly over this bag and completely waterproof it. So if you do opt for that, this is what the Rainfly looks like. Again, it fits perfectly over the 45-liter. So the exterior of the bag is made of TerraShell 210D ripstop nylon material. Now, this is super, super heavy duty. This part in particular, this sort of main face of the bag here, is made of a really heavy waterproofed material, which, you know, again, is going to shed the majority of anything that's going to hit the back of this backpack. Now, one thing that I was a little bit confused by when I first got it, and I could not quite figure out, is how to open the bag. Now, they've designed this thing in a way where it's really super quick and really super easy to open the bag and then also to close it. But again, unless you know the trick, it was very tricky. I even watched their video and I'm like, how is that guy doing that so easily? Here is the trick. So the main body of the bag is inside of here behind this little pull strap. And I mean, I was yanking on this thing trying to get it to go and I could not get it to go. Also, once you do it once or twice, it will also make it a little bit easier to manipulate. The sort of key is that this loop here actually comes out of the bag, and that's what operates the mechanism that loosens these strings. So if you pull up and away like that, that's how you get it to open up. And then inside of here, it's got a magnetic, so this actually, with this little loop here to make it easy to pull apart, has magnets all lined along it so that it makes it really easy to just sort of close up. It just sort of closes itself up, and then you roll it down just like any roll top bag, and that's going to further waterproof and just keep water off of your stuff. So then down behind this sort of waterproof pouch, you have a storage system there, and then you have the main body of the bag, which again is this roll top with the magnets in the top. And that is a way that you can access everything from the top, which is really nice. However, you can also, through the back of this, undo these zippers here, and then just open up the whole back of it right through there. Now, this is also a spot for your laptop here. So again, if you wanted really quick, easy access to your laptop without unpacking all your stuff, I love this design because then I can get to my laptop, again, without pulling anything out of my bag. I don't have to mess with wrestling around a bunch of stuff. And if I had clothes in here, let's say I put shoes on the bottom of this bag because they're heavier and I don't want to get the dirty stuff on top of the clean clothes, those could be down here. Maybe I want to change shoes or something at camp or after a hike. I can get to that stuff again without having to dredge everything up out of the top of this bag, which is really awesome and very similar to the other bag that I've got. And part of why I love the Peak Design stuff, because they really put a lot of thought into the why of how they design these bags. So now that we've kind of talked about the main volume of the body here, I want to show you how to cinch this back up because that's really cool too. But so there's this tab on the front with these two strings. That is the cinch system. All you have to do is just pull on that, and that is going to cinch that right back down there, just like it was before. So then again, with one finger, one hand, you can pull this cinch thing out to open the main body, or with one finger, you can pull this down to retighten the whole front of the bag. So super easy, repeatable, mechanical feature, which I like. Nothing crazy or too fancy, but something that's very easy to work, especially one-handed, which is nice if you've got, you know, a camera in your hands or stuff in your hands. Now moving to the side here of this sort of main waterproof cover, there's a zipper there on the left side that has a small pocket in there. So things like your keys or your wallet, things like that could go in there. Then of course that's mirrored on the other side. So again, just sort of a nice little pocket in there to store stuff that you want to have handy, stuff that you want to get to in a hurry. Now on both sides, they have these really cool sort of cinch pockets. So there's one towards the bottom here that you could put things in, and then there's a really tall one towards the top. So what I use this for is something like a tripod, or if you had hiking poles or something like that, you could put those in here because it's basically the full length of the bag here. It's also super elasticy, so you can stretch it. You can put stuff like a drone or something like that down in here if you wanted to. And then you've got this other pocket out here as well that again is super stretchy and attached by this cord here so that you can tighten that up, pull it, and sort of cinch it up. Again, what I think is really handy about this is if you're going to go on like a hiking trip or something like that, and you're going to really deck this thing out and use all these pockets for specific pieces of gear that you need at different points in a hiking trip, you can really stow away gear here and store a ton of it in really nice, easy to access places. So that's duplicated again on both sides. There's the big long pocket, there's the shorter pocket with these toggles and ties. Another thing to point out about this thing, and it may be sort of hard to see on video, but this thing is semi-rigid. So it almost has like an internal frame built into it that keeps it rigid and in this sort of rectangular shape. So unlike a lot of backpacks that you may have had that don't have that sort of internal framework in them, it can kind of disform and become sort of unwieldy. This keeps it so that it's always flat against your back. It's always comfortable. Even if you're hiking, you know, miles and miles and miles, it keeps everything in shape. It keeps everything in form, and it gives some rigidity to the backpack itself. Now on the back here too, you can probably see this really nice thick padding. So again, if you're hiking a really long distance, this is going to give you a ton of support with that weight on your back so that you don't have to worry about being uncomfortable or anything in the pack digging into your back. Now there is a lot of adjustability built into these straps. Pretty much everything on these Peak Designs bags are meant to be easily maneuvered and made for comfort. Another thing to point out is that on both of these straps, there are little pockets here. So again, if you had something like a GoPro, if you had something that you needed to get to, or that you just kind of temporarily wanted to throw in here, this is a nice stretchy vented pocket. If you got socks wet and you wanted to pull them off or swap into a set of dry socks, you could put those in here, let them dry out, which is a really nice feature. You've got these additional straps that have this sort of proprietary Peak Design clip on them, which is shaped like that, so they can just grab onto any of these loops. But then what that does is it allows you to adjust your support in, right? So like you can quickly pull on this and make this tighter or looser so that it holds these straps further out and it helps with supporting the load that's in your backpack, which I really like. But the fact that you can adjust it, and you can see there are many loops back here. So there's a loop there, there's a loop there, there's a loop down here. So you can kind of adjust the height of the straps, and you can also adjust this support as well, which is nice. So now that we're talking about these, they call them gear loops, basically. You'll notice them all along the bag here, right? So like, again, let's say that I had my tripod that I'm using right now down in this thing, and I wanted to really secure it. I could take these sort of bungee cords here, put it around the tripod, and then there's a loop that runs all the way around the entire outside of this backpack where these things can attach. So again, just a really smart design to allow you to really customize the way that you carry gear and the comfort with which you carry that gear. All right, so one thing that I want to point out that is shared between this bag and my old bag is they have these loops in here which are meant to work with their C-clip system. So this is really similar to, again, their other bag that I've got. And what I like about that is this thing is basically universal. And what this allows you to do is it allows you to use their pre-proportioned bags. So if you had like a medium camera bag, one of those would fit in here with like a small bag at the top. And I'll link to this bag in the description below, but there are a million different ways that you can sort of pre-packaged stuff. So like you could have your toiletries in one bag, you could have your computer cords and stuff in another bag, and you could pre-portion this stuff out, and it will clip into this rail system inside the bag here so that they don't move around while you're hiking or moving or walking or, you know, traversing an airport. Just kind of give you a feel for what this looks like. Just wanted to put it on and kind of turn around. I'm about 6'2", about 230, so I'm not a big guy, but I'm not a tiny guy, and it fits really comfortable. I mean, you can barely tell that it's there, and I've had this thing loaded up with a bunch of bedding, camping gear, some camera stuff on a couple trips, and it's been super comfortable. It's so comfortable with these wide straps here and that flat back on it with the padding that you almost don't even notice it. Now, one more sort of final thing that I want to point out here is that this bag is compatible with all of their camera stuff. So Peak Designs is big in supporting photographers and videographers and things like that. So if you are one of those, and if you're not, that doesn't mean you can't get this backpack. There are still a ton of benefits for you just for the comfort and the design of the backpack. But specifically, if you are a videographer or a photographer and you want to carry a camera, attached, they have a proprietary system that you can click it onto your strap here and you can grab your camera really quick and be ready to shoot. This is compatible with all that stuff. There are a million different ways to attach a camera to this. Again, you could get a camera cube where you can store all your camera gear, and that will fit inside this bag too. So just tons of awesome ways to use this thing, specifically if you are into videography or photography. All right, guys, so but that will do it for the Peak Designs 45-liter outdoor bag. I hope that that was some interesting information for you. As I mentioned, I'm going to put a link to this thing in the description below so you can go check it out, get all the details for yourself. Also, I'll put a link to their video where they literally walk you through every single feature. So again, if you are looking for something specific that I didn't cover, that should cover it. Also, in the description down below will be links to all my social channels. If you enjoyed the video, if you want more outdoors, camping, overlanding type content, definitely consider clicking that subscribe button down below. There's also a join button below this video where you can basically get early access to all the videos. It's a nice way to support the channel, just kind of passive. If you want a more active way to be involved with all things overlanding, I've got a Patreon group, which is linked below as well, where we have a 24/7 Discord, we hang out, we do a once a month Zoom call. It's a ton of fun. And then of course, there are links to all my featured partners down below. And you may ask yourself, well, what does that mean? These are all companies that I just really believe in, right? They're all companies that I really love, and I love their products. I love their services. So if you're looking for tires, there's Nitto down there. If you're looking for really good high quality clothes, there's Livsin down there. There are just a ton of awesome brands down there with really cool stuff. So if you're kind of tired of the big corporate stuff and you want to know like who are the really good quality companies that I may want to buy products from, those are the companies listed as featured partners down below, and you should check those out and support those guys. And again, that will do it for the Peak Designs 45-liter backpack. I hope that was helpful for you. Click that like button if it was, and we'll see you next time.